Hello everyone. Today we are here to discuss one of the major important topic, current challenges and future directions of AI in pharmaceutical manufacturing, which is an important topic of the subject artificial intelligence for healthcare and pharmacy. So first, what are basically the current challenges of artificial intelligence in pharmaceutical manufacturing? First, we talk about data integration and quality. AI is basically suffering from one of the major important challenge nowadays in the process of pharmaceutical manufacturing, especially in data integration and quality, because nowadays the data which has actually been produced is actually from various sources, which includes research, clinical trials, manufacturing processes, and patient data. Now, to incorporate this particular type of data, which is having different formats, different standards, and different quality levels in one system is basically very different, which is also one of the major important challenge for artificial intelligence systems. Second, we come on to regulatory compliance. Now, different type of regulatory agencies are basically having up different guidelines, and for all those particular guidelines to be actually function and be maintained by different artificial intelligence systems is basically quite difficult. Pharmaceutical manufacturing is heavily regulated to ensure product safety and efficacy. Implementing AI systems while ensuring compliance with the regulatory requirements such as good manufacturing practices and good automated manufacturing practices. So, good automated manufacturing practices basically refers to the validation guidelines which have already been written down for the different type of automated machines, yani ki computerized machines. Third, we come on to data privacy and security. Now, data privacy and security is also one of the major important challenge for AI-based systems. And to prevent all those particular type of challenges, some of the major important privacy regulations have actually been passed by United States and Europe, which is HIPAA, which is called as Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which was actually been passed up in 1996 by United States, which actually focuses on protecting up the privacy and security of individuals' health information. The General Data Regulation Act (GDPR) is also one of the major important type of the data protection law, which was basically been passed up by European Union, that came into effect on May 25, 2018. It actually replaced up the Data Protection Directive and aims to harmonize data protection regulations across the EU member states, as well as to strengthen up the individuals' rights regarding their personal data. Now, when it comes to EU member states, there are basically 27 member states. Fourth, we come on to model interpretability and validation. AI-based models are actually being used up in pharmaceutical manufacturing must completely be interpretable and validated to ensure complete, accurate, and reliable results are actually being completely produced. For example, if we talk about AI computational models, deep neural networks is basically also facing from one of the major important challenge of model interpretability. Fifth, we come on to scalability and adaptability. Scale-up techniques is basically another major important challenge for the AI-based systems in the process of pharmaceutical manufacturing. AI systems actually need to be scalable and adaptable to handle various variations in data volume, process parameters, and especially in data volume, process parameters, and product specification across different manufacturing facilities. Knowledge transfer and expertise. Implementing AI in pharmaceutical manufacturing actually requires domain expertise in both pharmaceuticals and AI technologies. Knowledge transfer from AI expert to pharmaceutical domain experts and vice versa can actually be challenging. Seventh, we come on to cost and manufacturing. Development of different type of AI-based systems for different type of machines and different type of pharmaceutical companies is actually quite costly. And that is why all the particular pharmaceutical companies have to manage the infrastructure, technology, and expertise with that of AI-based systems. It is not possible for the small pharmaceutical companies to purchase different type of AI-based systems which are highly costly, and that is why all the particular pharmaceutical companies have to balance the amount of the budget that they're actually getting with that of the AI-based systems that they will actually be purchasing. Now, what are basically the different type of future prospects of AI in pharmaceutical manufacturing? First of all, we'd actually talk about personalized medicines and drug development. Personalized medicines are actually the specialized medicines which are basically being developed depending upon the genetic makeup of individual patient characteristics. In this, we are actually studying about the genomic analysis. Genomic analysis basically helps in order to analyze and interpret and analyze of the DNA sequences to identify the genetic variations associated with disease risk, drug metabolism, and treatment response. And in natural language processing (NLP) algorithms, we are able to analyze of the unstructured clinical data from the different type of electronic health records, medical literature, patient related literature, and we are able to actually use that data complete in a structured manner in pharmaceutical manufacturing process. Another major important, what are basically the type of various tools which are actually being used up in personalized medicines? First, we'll come on to IBM Watson for oncology, which is actually one of the major important type of the tool that is actually being used to analyze medical literature, clinical guidelines, and patient records to provide personalized treatment medications for cancer patients, or oncology patients. Then we come on to Tempus, which is also one of the major important type of the AI-based system that has actually been developed to identify potential therapeutic targets, predict treatment response, and optimize clinical trial matching for the cancer patients. Then we have Prognos, which is able to analyze the clinical and diagnostic data from diverse sources, include laboratory testing, imaging testing, and in silico medicines, which is basically able to, in order to combine genomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, and other biological data to identify the potential drug targets, predict drug efficacy and safety. Then we come on to predicting analysis for quality control. Now, AI-based systems will be able to anticipate the different type of defects and quality issues before they actually occur. Manufacturing equipment sensors, environmental conditions, and historical production will actually be capable to be actually performed by different AI-based systems. Process optimization and automation. AI-based systems will be able to adjust different parameters in real-time testing to improve efficiency and reduce up the cost during the process of manufacturing processes, such as temperature, pressure, mixing rates, etc. Continuous manufacturing optimization. All the AI-based systems will be able in order to make automated adjustments and predictive analysis in order to minimize the waste, reducing up the cost and improving overall production outcomes. Fifth, supply chain management. AI-based systems will be able to optimize pharmaceutical supply chains by predicting demand, optimizing up the inventory levels, and identifying up the potential bottlenecks or the disruptions. Then we come on to sixth, drug repurposing, one of the major important process that is nowadays actually being used, in which AI-based system will be able to analyze up the existing drugs and their molecular properties to identify new uses or indications. For example, if we talk about aspirin, one of the major important drug that was initially used as NSAID, even now used as an NSAID, can actually be used nowadays in the form of ecoaspirin that is actually being used especially in the case of blood thinning agents. Pharmacovigilance is seventh. AI-based systems will be able in order to streamline regulatory compliance by automating documentation, data validation, and reporting systems. They will be able to detect adverse drug reactions, monitor drug safety profiles, and ensure post-marketing surveillance. Now, if we talk about the future perspectives in the case of pharmacovigilance, we are actually able to analyze of the adverse drug reactions, which are basically the adverse effects of the drug that occur when they are actually been consumed. The risk factors that is actually been referred when the livelihood of the adverse reactions actually becomes completely high, or the serious reactions when the adverse reactions of a particular drug include death, any killing, or life-threatening health scar. If we talk about pharmacovigilance automation tools, one of the major important, these are basically the different type of tools which have actually been developed to revolutionize of the way adverse drug reactions are actually been identified, reported, and managed. And these tools will be able to analyze the large amount of data from multiple sources, including electronic health records, social media, other forms of reliable and tangible real-world evidence. One of the major important example of this is actually FDA approved Sentinel system. This was actually able to use automated algorithms to analyze large healthcare databases in order to identify potential safety signals. Another major important example is Vigilance, which is basically an AI-based software system that actually uses natural language processing and machine learning to identify potential ADRs. One of the major important US pharmaceutical company, Transcellent Biopharma, was able in order to develop this particular type of software, which was basically having a 45% improvement in compliance and 80% improvement in efficacy was actually been reported, along with 50% reported lowered costing and 50% reported improved data quality in this particular AI-based systems. Now we come on to patient engagement and adherence. AI-based systems will be able to improve the patient engagement and adherence, in which the patients will be able in order to follow the medication regimen which have already been written down by the different medical practitioners. This enhances the patient satisfaction, treatment adherence, and health outcomes. Human-machine collaboration. The future of AI in pharmaceutical company is not about replacing humans, but augmenting their capabilities. Human expertise combined with AI-based systems will be able to drive smarter decisions. And then we come on to digital twins. The concept of digital twins is actually the virtual representations which have basically been given for the different manufacturing processes even before starting those manufacturing processes, which will actually give prominence. AI will actually be able in order to use digital twins to simulate and optimize production, predict potential issues, and test new approaches. Here are basically some of the major important benefits, which includes understanding product better through real-time monitoring, maintaining up the assets better through predictive maintenance, optimizing up the manufacturing processes where we are able in order to optimize up the process variables, testing, validating, and refining up the assumptions, improving product traceability functions. We'll be able in order to improve how the product flow is actually going inside the particular market from one particular consumer from one particular distributor to the another particular distributor, and what is basically the demand of that particular product in the market. One of the major important pharmaceutical client wanted in order to monitor the organic synthesis process in factory, and that is why that was basically responsible for development of one of the major important type of the AI-based system that was developed by a US company, Gramineer, that was about machine learning solution to set alerts that operators can actually check the dipping quality standards. This model was able in order to use up the data related to reactor temperature, crystallization, cooling rate. Okay, now this particular monitor was actually called to be a process monitor, which was basically having up different type of functions in which we were actually having up the material A, material B, solvents, what is actually their benefits, what is basically their benefits and what is basically the mechanism of action. Now the reactor time, crystallization rate, drying time, all of which can actually be controlled for a particular machine by the help of a computer-based system. And according to this particular type of process monitor, what the company was actually saying, the company said that our machine learning model helped the client predict the batch quality during the production stage. If 90% of the powders were actually completely fine, the product batch would actually be result up in good quality. This was actually the assurance that was provided by the US-based company. Now we come on to one of the major important future perspective is pharma industry 4.0. Right now, all of us is actually undergoing the process of third revolution of industry, which is actually industry 3.0, which talks about individual operations and tools. And industry 4.0 actually talks about the manufacturing systems infrastructure. In such an environment, there will actually be two major important things: digital maturity, which will actually be combined with that of artificial intelligence, and that will actually result in big data and data digitalization. Performance data will actually be analyzed by algorithms and used for critical time businesses and operational decisions. In this journey, we'll be actually talking about digital maturity, which is basically a process of transforming of the raw data from a manufacturing process to information which is actually being gained by analysis of these particular data to knowledge formed through addition of contextual meaning that will actually result up in wisdom. This term wisdom is actually being used, which is responsible for fueling up the autonomous system and cyber-based machines. Now, pharma industry actually talks about cyber physical system. Now, a cyber physical system is actually a hub, which basically includes in-process testing, which of in-process testing, especially of if we talk about the wet granulator, the fluidized bed granulator, the milling, mixing, compression, coating. These is actually called these particular type of machines which are basically been working inside the particular industry. All the process variables of these particular machines can actually be controlled, along with the presence of public cloud, which is actually the information coming from the consumer from the different type of customers depending upon the energy dashboard, process monitoring. Then we come on to external data, which is actually including of the patient experiences, supplier inventories, public health emergencies, market demand, and the private cloud, which is basically the information coming from the particular business, all of which can actually be combined together to result in formation of a hub, which is called to be a cyber physical system that actually talks about pharma industry 4.0. In Pharma Industry 4.0, autonomous and robotic system will be able enough to fuse the real-time and online data with industrial production processes. Multiple data sources can actually integrate both external and internal information. External information, which is basically coming from patient experience, market demand, supplier inventories, health emergencies, etc. Integrating internal external data actually enables real-time responsiveness monitoring, and a cyber-physical system for manufacturing process in Industry 4.0 is actually playing an important role. Key parts is actually public cloud, private cloud, and manufacturing floor. Private cloud actually deals up with high-layer features such as remote monitoring system, production management, laboratory functioning, control services, and modeling and simulation. And public cloud contains of the application services for the external customers. These are some of the references which are actually being used in making this presentation.